Hey guys, Augiesaint here and welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I want to talk to you guys about Diablo 4 Season 2. It is about to wrap up in about a week from now. I think it begins, the next Season 3 begins on the 23rd. So that's literally a week from when this video goes up. Just want to talk to you about my experience with the season, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and what I would like to see in Season 3. Obviously, D4 has a long way to go to like reach where I want it to really be, but it's still fun at the beginning of each season because there's something to do, but then shortly afterwards it just drops off because there's not much to do pretty much. And there's a lot of stuff that needs to get fixed up, especially with the Avatar of Xur. Now, I know that was specific to Season 2 and we probably won't get it moving forward. I'm not sure how the reception was overall, but for me, I wasn't a big fan of the Avatars there, not because of it being hard. I like a challenge, like Greater Rift style, hard challenging stuff is great. I love that kind of stuff. But to me, the thing about Avatar of Xur was early on, I don't know, now they probably nerfed it. I didn't really play it after the first week or two that it was out. I got to level 6 on the first day. And then to get past level 6, you just needed to like rebuild your character completely for defense because the damage was stupid high. You get one shot by pretty much anything. And I already had a super tanky build. I was playing Lightning Ballsork. The first time I went through there, my build was extremely tanky. I could like face tank T100s and it was no problem at all. So the tuning on it, a little bit bad. And then also the XP for the glyph in the beginning before they actually nerfed it was also pretty bad. So it would take you like, I think Mr. Blue Hoodie guy, Mr. Rex, I think he worked it. I was like what, 100 and something days or some crazy amount, like 800 hours or something absurd. Like you wouldn't be able to get it even if you played all day every day once it came out. Then obviously they did release that nerf afterwards where they nerfed it a little bit, so it was a little bit easier to level it up. But still, the number one thing that put me off in Season 2, well, with Avatar of Xur, because Season 2 started out really good, but we'll get back to that in a moment. The problem with Avatar of Xur for me was the bugs and the exploits that people were doing every other day. I'd log into YouTube, you know, just see what's happening, and bam, all right, there's a new snapshotting exploit, there's a new this exploit, there's a new passive exploit, there's a new that exploit. I'm like, what? I don't know about you guys, but I mean, a lot of people do actually enjoy figuring out exploits and stuff and how to abuse them. But I myself, I don't want to play the game and be like, okay, for me to clear this content, I have to figure out which of these skills are bugged and which of them I can exploit to actually get through, instead of actually just playing the game how it's intended with the tooltips doing what they say. And, you know, being able to clear the content for the game being balanced around the skills and tools that you have available instead of trying to exploit everything. For example, putting on like legendary aspect powers before you open the Avatar of Xur. Before you open it, you put on some legendary aspects that you don't usually have in your build, like extra defense, extra damage. And then you open the Avatar of Xur Rift or whatever it's called. You use the glyph to open it up and you go inside. And once you're inside, you switch back to your old gear. And then there you have it. Now you have the aspects because they've been snapshotted from before you went in. So you have those aspects and you have the aspects you just equipped. So in that case, you could put on, I'm not sure if it worked with all the aspects. I tried it myself with a few and most of them did work. But the point is that's an exploit and it's a bug. It's obviously not working as intended. But to push into these higher tiers like plus 15, over 15, you have to kind of do that kind of stuff to actually get somewhere because it was just so overtuned that you wouldn't be able to do it. So that is a big no-no in my book. I do not like glitching and trying to find out exploits and stuff like that. And then the other exploit, this is more on the exploit side of things. The other stuff was kind of just like bugs or whatever, not working as intended. But another exploit would be for Sorks. They could actually summon their Hydra. And then if they re-summon their Hydra, it counts as the Hydra is actually progress towards the Avatar of Xur. It counts as killing a mob because the Hydra despawns when you summon the next one. And it doesn't have a cooldown, it only has a mana cost. So you could essentially just spam it over and over and over and over and fill up your bar without even moving. So you could make like a really weird like solo boss build because obviously the Avatar of Xur, the bosses at the end were actually the most dangerous things out of everything. You could go through the rift pretty easily and then you get to the bosses and they just one-shot you, or they have vampirism so they just heal, or they have the bubble on them, the time stop bubble, so you can't actually get stuff inside it, the suppressor. So that was all pretty terrible. But then Sorks just hop in there. Oh, and then you put the aspect on that gives you 2 Hydras. So you literally just sit there spamming your Hydras over and over and over. Progress bar fills up. Maybe right before it ends. I think you could change skills inside there as well. Or you could leave and change skills and come back. I'm not sure if that was possible. But if it was, then you literally just change off your Hydra. Put back whatever skill it was you had on your build. and kill the bosses for a quick and easy Avatar Zur clear. So stuff like that, not a fan. Really did not like the Avatar Zur. I mean, the earlier levels and figuring it out and changing your build to be defensive and like have damage as well in the later stages, that's completely fine. I'm trying to find out ways to min-max and not being able to progress further because you have to level up the new glyph. That's acceptable because they did nerf the glyph XP and all that, so that's okay. But these exploits and these bugs and things, they really need to fix that and work on that, because I just don't like playing when there's stuff like that. That's the meta pretty much. The only way to clear Avatar Zur is to use whatever exploit is working for your class. And there's so many exploits as well on a lot of classes, like Sorc, for example. Half of the Sorc passives don't work, or you put them on and they work like not intendedly, like the fire one, what's it, Isu's Blessing or something like that, where you get the attack speed on fire skills. That works on all skills. And then the other one, the electric damage one with the close damage and damage reduction, only the damage reduction works or something, and then the damage doesn't actually work. So like half the Sorc passives don't even work as intended, or don't even work at all work too good. So it's really like a whole mashup. And then we have the rogue thing with the condemnation dagger and all that stuff, where it procs the combo points with the Tubot's will. So D4 is just a buggy mess, and it's pretty annoying, especially for me trying to make builds from a content creator side of things. I like make a build according to what the tooltip's saying. There's no real proper way to test this. I mean, we have the training dummy, but that thing isn't really such a great way to test either, because we don't have like a graph that shows us what's doing what, like what skill's doing what. So we just have to go by watching, you know. You got to change the skill and you got to look at the numbers in slow motion and see what happens to them. So it's really annoying to try and test it. It is a little bit easier with the training dummy now, because before we'd obviously just have to run through nightmare dungeons and stuff like that to try it out. But obviously with the training dummy it's a little bit easier, but still, just give us a graph so we can see which skill did what amount of damage, which skill did the highest percentage of the damage or something. It's not that hard to implement stuff like that, I don't believe, especially now that we have the training dummy there. So the ground is kind of set. We just need to, you know, improve on what we have. And then that doesn't even get me to the loot of D4. Man, the loot is just, oh man. I think that's actually a whole topic for another video, because right now we're just going to focus about talking on the season. So that's all the things that I didn't like about Season 2, was basically Avatar Zur and all the glitches and stuff that needs to be fixed, all the exploits and bugs. That's my biggest gripe with D4 right now. Well, one of for this season. And then the weapons and the items and stuff, that's a whole nother video on its own. So what I would like to see in Season 3, actually before we get there, Season 2 was good in the beginning. And I mean, it's the first season I actually made 3 level 100s. The XP changes and all that stuff was great. I wasn't forced to spam nightmare dungeons. Like, I was literally level 100. I went back to nightmare dungeons just to level up my glyphs because they weren't 15 yet. But I got to level 100 by just doing open world stuff, farming bosses, farming, what do you call that thing, Helltide, to actually get the materials to go do bosses. And that's another thing. The Uber bosses, I've done, what's it, like 80 kills on Duriel. Still haven't seen anything. I thought it was 1 in 40 or something like that. But anyway, that's probably just my luck. But the Uber bosses, that's whatever. That's just RNG. That's acceptable. But yeah, I haven't seen any Ubers, and the drop rate is pretty low in there. And then I know another person, he's done like 20 runs and he has all the Ubers. So it's a little bit like, where's the average over there? But the boss implementation was good. I did like that. It gave us something else to go and do, to go and hunt for and actually get it. But the Helltide spam and grind, they need to change that a little bit. Maybe give us like from 1 Helltide enough to do like 2 or 3 Duriels, instead of just a 1. Maybe it's like 1.5 right now. I actually haven't played for so long, I've forgotten. I haven't played for the whole month. The last time I played was back in December sometime. Kind of just waiting for the new patch to come out now, the new season. So those are my gripes and my positive parts about Season 2. Season 2 was fun in the beginning, but again, the fun wears out. There's nothing much to do. And then Avatar Zur was just a really massive put down for me. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought of the Avatar Zur. I would love to know. So moving forward into Season 3, what would I like to see? I would like to see the Avatar Zur game mode, like a Greater Rift, implemented again, but in a better method. So not have them scale as hard, or if they do have them scale as hard, they've got to give us tools to, you know, fight the scaling of the damage difference that we need to do the extra damage. And then obviously the defense, they have to give us something, you know. It's a little bit of give and take. If you want to give us a much harder content that actually pushes your character to its limits, then you need to give us something so we can actually reach those limits, if you know what I mean, without exploiting or using bugs and stuff like that. So they need to give us some new legendary powers maybe that are specific to there. Maybe only legendary powers that only drop in there at the end boss, so you can actually go in there and farm the first few easy levels in the beginning. and then try and get yourself this new avatar kind of a build going. That would be interesting to see, and maybe give us different glyph options as well. So like not just a damage glyph, maybe give us like a defense hybrid damage glyph or something, like a specific glyph for every class and then one glyph for like overall. Just something like that. They just need to give us some more tools to actually work with in these Greater Rift of Zir if they want to push them in back again. But we'll see how they go with that, because they are adding the new gauntlet thing, which is the new leaderboards. I hope that is implemented well, and it's not another Avatar of Zir where you just got to exploit and glitch in that, because then for people to get onto the leaderboards, you're literally going to have to exploit, or you're going to have to bug abuse to get there, and it's going to be accepted because, I mean, everybody's doing it, so they can't go ahead and ban everybody for using like easy little glitches and bugs that they have in the game. So I hope they address a lot of this tomorrow in the talk. Actually, I don't think it's tomorrow, it's like the next day on the 18th or something. We're going to have a talk with the devs. They're going to do a live stream, and I hope they address a lot of this stuff moving into Season 3, so we can see how that all goes. So Season 3, I just hope they implement the, I think it's called the Crucible or the Gauntlet or something. They need to implement that well, otherwise it's not going to go very good for them. And I definitely want to see Diablo 4 succeed. I mean, I love Diablo. I have over thousands of hours in D3, and I would like to see Diablo 4 actually thrive and get to a point where it's just fun. I know a lot of people do enjoy it, but there's just not much for... If you play Diablo 4 a lot, there's not much for you to do. If you play it 1 or 2 hours a day, or maybe a week, then there's a ton of stuff for you to do. But that is my little rant about Diablo 4 Season 2, my experience, and what I look forward to in Season 3. Just have a good little endgame. I hope they do the gauntlet very well, so it is nice and fun to play it on repeat without using bugs and exploits and glitches. But that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please drop a like and a sub to the channel. Helps me out so much, and I'll catch you beautiful people in the next one. Augiesaint out.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the